This is as close as it gets to tropic heat here in Edmonton, Canada, unless you're playing Dead Island like we here at User-Created-Content are, and you're going to give you our first impressions.
All right, so first impressions. Obviously, what do you guys think of this game so far?
You know, a lot of people are calling it basically Fallout 3 with zombies. So
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, or Borderline with zombies.
Borderlands, yeah.
A little bit of Left 4 Dead in there, but great feeling when you first play that game. I mean, what was the first few moments of this game? What do you say about that?
Well, waking up drunk in the hotel room, that whole opening is actually really interesting. When you explore the hotel, you start picking through baggage, and it gives you that sense that zombies, you already know that there's zombies around the corner.
Zombie outbreak for sure, yeah.
But
it does a good job of kind of like isolating you from all of that. And then like as you go through the hotel though, and you kind of see that sprawling view of the entire island, which is amazing. Yeah. And then when you finally meet those survivors and you go out and fight your first battle, it's really very cool. It's very awesome.
Yeah, in fact, actually, I think the character makes a comment when he first sees the island in its grand scale. He's like, "Damn, I need a postcard for this," or something like that.
My character didn't say that.
Actually, yeah, the biggest difference between the characters seems to be their dialogue, their internal thoughts on things.
Between between scenes, break it down. What's the first story-wise cutscene presentation? A little bland, I'd say.
It's a little bland. I mean, I think the game does a good job in terms of its environment, though. Yeah. You know, like it really feels like a huge, massive island, which is great to explore. But character models look a little weak, a little last gen for me. Some textures and stuff like that too. But overall, I think like the outside environments look really, really good.
Yes, outside environments phenomenal. Yeah. Like you said, the character models are a little bland, a little low scale for now for the expectations for these days. Yeah. But initially, I was kind of underwhelmed with the presentation and the story. There wasn't really any much direction. You're kind of thrown into this apocalypse, this state of emergency, but there's no real guidance. There's no like story going on or any presentation wise.
Yeah, there's nothing really else to push you forward except that you're the only character who can go on these missions, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. Talk about that?
You feel like you are the only useful person on the island, but one thing I did actually enjoy is when you wake up after being attacked, you're kind of in that small building filled with a whole bunch of other people, and the kind of reality of the zombie outbreak hits you because all of the NPCs are crying, they're holding their significant others. Yeah. There's people just freaking out, and that's exactly what it would be like. Yeah. So when you first open that door and you see that there's a horde of zombies attacking Cinemoy, who you then need to rescue. It's to the point where you're just like, oh my god, like, it's happened. Everything is gone to hell, and from there, exploring the resort is just fantastic.
Yeah, and just adding on to that part, like when, again, right after you speak with Cinemoy, you're tasked to go find like that card and take it to the tower, and on the way there, you find that like the swimming pool, and it's completely drenched in blood, and you talk to that guy, and he actually had to
he murdered his wife, his brother, and his dad.
Like, and I love.
He's like, don't look at me.
Yeah, like I love those little moments. Those are things is what kind of like. I always bring it back to like the Walking Dead series.
Well, I really wish they would have done more of that little scene there because you basically walk away. You don't even have to interact at that point there.
You don't really have to, but
For me, I'm finding it's gameplay that's actually keeping me going. Yeah. And like you mentioned in the intro here, that it's like a Fallout presentation with zombies in it.
It is. In terms of the story, I think it's pretty weak right now. Again, I'm only a couple hours in. I need to invest some more time into it, but I think exploring the island is the most appealing thing for me.
Techland has actually done a great job at remaking a real resort. The resort feels real and it feels logical when you're moving around between the beaches and the lifeguard station and the lighthouse, and the island itself just feels like it could be a real place. Everything is proportional, it's spaced, the roads feel fine. I mean, they treat driving like the vehicles are weapons first and foremost, rather than actual vehicles for getting around. But otherwise, I think that with this game, the devil's in the details.
It is.
In terms of everything adding up, the environments and NPCs responding to the situations.
Yeah, it's kind of the sum of its parts, though. I think you could kind of criticize the game if you break it down a little bit, but I think overall, as an overall package, it feels pretty good. I wanted to ask you guys, though, what about the combat?
Combat-wise, a lot of grabbing the paddle, grabbing a wrench, or anything you can find, really. And those weapons don't last very long, so you're almost like the whole time struggling to find the next item to beat down the next few zombies. Yeah. So you can never get attached to weapons that long. And I kind of like that the survival feeling. You're like, what am I going to do when I have a surge of zombies coming towards me, and I only have this broken down paddle and a knife.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what differentiates this game from your other zombie shooters. Is you're always in other zombie games, you always have weaponry, right? You always have
like Left 4 Dead, you had
guns,
your guns.
But this one, like, almost every encounter with a zombie, even if it's one, it could be like life or death, right? Because if you don't have the proper weapon, or if it's broken by then, you know what I mean? Like it's every interaction with the zombie is like intense.
Yeah,
right?
the combat heavily reminds me of Condemned, another game that used it was a really melee focused game. And I really like that the weapons break and it contributes to that feeling of survival. Like you were saying, Corey, what am I going to do when this runs out? And you're always scavenging for food cans and energy drinks, which are your health. Oddly enough, I don't know how Red Bull
always drinks them right off of the bat. Too.
Yeah, really, you can't save them for later. It's just like, I need this now.
What do you think? Graphic detail here, gore content.
It's gory. It's gory. It's
blood
brutal.
And gushy, gory.
And that's kind of what I think they were really trying to go for, was that the melee combat is brutal. It really is. You have every sound. It's disgusting, but it's totally satisfying.
Oh yeah, when you beat a head in, it's pretty cool to actually see the blood
just like kind of splurting,
spurt out, and then all of a sudden the head will entirely like pop off and roll away.
There's no dialogue tree like in Fallout, but there is definitely a feeling of getting to the next side quest, getting this done, earning some experience points, so you can level up your character. And I love the level up system, by the way. It's very RPG-like, and you got like the 3 kind of talent trees going on there.
Yeah. You have one for your Fury, which is
special attack mode,
exclusive to your character.
Yeah.
Then you have your combat, and then I can't remember what the third one is.
It's the survival. So it's lock picking. You got like you recover stamina when getting damaged. There's a lot of stuff there, and you're kind of picking and choosing along the way.
And the side quests are just pop up everywhere. Right off the bat, I'd say in the first 20 minutes, I had like 8 side quests and like 1 main quest.
Yeah.
There's tons to do.
There's tons and tons of stuff to do, and I think that's going to be the most enjoyable part of this game is completing everything. It's going to be huge. It's massive.
Well, let's not say this game is perfect, because there's a lot of issues with it, and it's buggy as fuck. The game is still not perfect. It's still buggy, where there's a lot of graphical glitches you see in it, a lot of collision detection errors, and general issues. There's a lot of crests getting broken, and a lot of, it felt like this game needed a lot of more time in the oven, a little bit of more bug testing.
Yeah, but you know what, like a lot of these open world games, they kind of always are launched that way, Fallout in particular. They always come out
Bethesda,
a little buggy.
is one of the people that's been known to do that, and it looks like here, they're giving a run for their money here for releasing the most buggy game at launch.
Indeed.
While my game never crashed or anything that bad, the pop-in on the PlayStation 3 version is atrocious at times.
Yeah.
There's times where it's like, oh, I'm running through this clearing, I'm gonna make it, and all of a sudden a fence pops in, and you're like, what? It's not bad to the point where like you can't see it until it's right in front of you, but it's like 50 feet away, suddenly something will come up, and it's like, damn, I gotta change my entire game plan because I'm running away from a horde of like 6 or 7 zombies.
One last thing, co-op multiplayer. I didn't get much time with it because on the PC, again, it's also broken. The multiplayer, when you basically, at any point, when there's another player nearby, they can join you, or you can join them. So it'll say on your screen, like,
you can jump into their game, or they can jump into yours.
Like such and such username is near you. Press J to join, and they'll come into your game, and you can basically kind of do your own thing at your own pace. You guys don't even have to cooperate or anything. They're in the same game world. And you get to keep
your own experience. And your weapons and stuff like that.
It kind of searches for people who are within the same level, doing the same quests in the same area, so that you can kind of go for some similar goals. But I was playing on the PC version, and every time you had someone join in, the game would stutter and the frame rate would just drop. So
is that even after the patch?
Yeah, it was after the patch too. I was reading on forums and everything. They're saying that the multiplayer is basically broken at this point.
Really?
So
for PC or
PC.
I don't think for consoles. I think it's working okay for consoles.
It's unfortunate though, because the co-op is a major driving force for this game, and it would be something great to have your friends with you, and you're bashing in enemy skulls and all that stuff.
I haven't had the chance to try co-op as of yet, but you can tell the game is entirely tailored towards it. The vehicles, you have the passenger seats as well as seats in the back, so when you hop in a truck, it's like, man, I wish I just had a freaking party with me that I could just drive around and just destroy zombies. But it definitely makes you feel like you want to have a whole bunch of friends over and just spend hours on this island.
Could you have? Is it 4-player co-op? Like, can you have 4 people in at one time?
I think it's 4-player. Yeah,
that's
awesome. Because there's 4 characters, right? So 4-player co-op.
I wish split screen though.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Sad.
Why not?
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'm really actually upset at the death of split screen in modern games.
Yeah.
Not enough games do it.
I mean, Resistance 3 is the only recent example right now that has split screen co-op, right? That I've seen in a long time.
Sad to say. Yeah. So overall, what are you guys' feeling for this game? Do you recommend it to players, people out there?
Oh, I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of the zombie genre. Like if you've played Dead Nation, if you played Dead Rising, you know, if you're already hooked on zombie games, Dead Island is going to be one that that's definitely going to grab you.
Yep.
If you were expecting more of an RPG akin to Fallout 3, you know, with deeper leveling up and stuff like that, this probably isn't the game for you, because there's no real effect on. It doesn't seem like there's any real effect on the story based on choosing your character. Or based on some of the things you do.
Aside from different dialogue the character says, there really doesn't seem to be any main difference, no different branching paths in the story.
Yeah, like the story doesn't change if you don't save certain survivors really or anything. It's just about as much as you can do to help these people on this island. But,
yeah.
And as for me, I'm a big zombie fan. I played pretty much every zombie game, and I'm just surprised it took so long to make an open world zombie game. And so I think if you're just slightly interested in zombies and horror, action adventure games, you know, something new, then I think that island would be awesome. Try it out.
Quick word, if you love zombies, then if you like Walking Dead, you're going to love this game. Melee is awesome. Melee combat is great. And if you're looking for something for a story-driven game, then you should look somewhere else. This is not the zombie story, love, romance game that you're looking for. But that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Alright everyone, so today we're going to bring you a brand new App Store game called Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. It's on
iPhone, iPad, iTouch.
Yeah, it's 99 cents too.
Natively to the iPhone only. Yes, and Gesundheit indeed, because you're a green little piglet and you flick boogers at
he feels dejected. Alright, his friends are making fun of him because of a big snotty nose.
Yeah.
Well, and actually that's kind of the core of the gameplay here. You actually have to use
that into your mechanic to trying to get past these monsters that kind of get in your way of your objective.
Which is what? Which is
kind of weird in a way. Your objective is to get it into the certain circle where whatever some blue whale thing comes and devours.
This game doesn't make a lot of sense when you play it.
Which kind of goes well with its art style, because it's very
quirky,
whimsical, and the whole soundtrack and everything makes it sound like a children's kind of song, but
yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's the thing what I love about this game was that it just has so much charm, and I think it also includes your usual iPhone game formula where everything's kind of you play in one level, very bite-sized levels, and then you have to collect like 3 stars, which is kind of like the thing that is very common in Angry Birds.
Yeah, well, to make the game longer, right? Actually, yeah. But there's already so many levels already. So I mean, I
think there's a whole bunch of worlds. I think there's about
there's actually lots of puzzle,
7, 8,
lots of puzzle levels to actually in the later stages become really full out. It's really long.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't an easy game. I'm still on World 1 actually. I know I suck, but
gameplay wise, so your objective is to get past the monster and get into that. Get it towards the circle of the objective.
Basically, you need to remove all the monsters from the level, so it's a safe path for him to get to his next level.
Because there's more than later on in the harder stages.
But no, I recommend it. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great style. It works very well on the iPhone and the iPad. Probably better on the iPad.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not iPad version though, so it's just the iPhone version on the iPad.
Oh, he's playing it.
Yeah. It still looks really good though, because the art style is so well done. And that's my biggest recommendation for this game.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for something different on the iPad and iPhone. Actually, there's actually a 3D levels too that they have on there, kind of looking with the background moving from the foreground. And
it looks really nice.
So the art style is definitely the major grab for it, and it's 99 cents. Why not, right?
Why not?
It's highly recommended.
Grab it when you can. It's awesome.
It's good to get through those small little puzzles that take up the time of our day.
Take the time, yeah, for sure.
So Gesundheit, right?
Gesundheit, 99 cents.
Yeah, 99 cents.
Yeah.
Hey, we are here at GameCamp's monthly event. We are about to go into the Bioware Theater right now to watch some wicked presentations and probably some new games. So why don't we just go in right now?
Okay, so, hey, how's it going? Good. So, I'm Shane Hocko. I don't know if I've met any of you before. I know there's I know Dave. There's somebody else. But anyway, I'm a lead artist at Bioware. I was the lead character artist on Dragon Age Origins and on Dragon Age 2. A couple years ago I gave this presentation to GDC. We're really busy upstairs right now working on another project, so I didn't have time to do anything fancy or new, but I'm going to let you know that all of everything I'm going to talk about today actually still applies in the games that we make. So it is still relevant, I think. So anyway, this presentation I gave together with individual named Claude Roy. He's now since moved on, but I've actually ripped out his slides so we can just deal with what I know. All right, so Dragon Age Origins. It was the big epic RPG that we really tried to hit on and bring back this classic feeling that the Bioware community kind of missed after doing like Jade Empire and Mass Effect. So we wanted to get back to the old fantasy RPG style that we're known for in Baldur's Gate. And so in the presentation here, I'm going to go through what does it make to make DA Origins, this epic RPG, what are the demands of the character in an epic RPG, how do we go about solving the problem of character generation, what does it do to take variety, and how do we bring them to life, which is more what Chloe was talking about. But anyway, yeah, Bioware. This is a little older, but since there's like a Dragon Age 2 here and a Mass Effect 2, and then there's a couple more projects. But yeah, if you're not familiar, if you're not familiar of what Bioware is all about, I can talk to you later about that. All right. So anyway, the idea, like I said, is spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate, dark, epic, brutal fantasy, ritualized, customizable world, and yeah, there's a lot of dialogue in Dragon Age. I don't know if you guys played that or not. Yeah, there's two people. Cool. All right. It's a ridiculously big game. That's basically what this slide says. There's all kinds of audio. There's all kinds of dialogue. There's lots of characters. There's 1,500 actors. There's 1,400 items. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of shit. So anyway, how do we tell a story? We tell it through the characters that you meet. So we wanted to come up with a complex, a system that wouldn't be so yet complex, but be able to give a good solution to what we are after. So these are some of the characters that you meet in DAO, some of your party members, minus this guy. And this exact same system was developed to make every other race head in the game. And there's quite a few of them. This is only a small sample. There's some male player character heads, some of the females, both elf and dwarf. And here's the breakdown of basically what happens with a character head. So it's broken up into different parts. The eyes, the eyelashes, the eye mesh, the hair mesh, the beards, the face, which is the most important part, is the face. So as you can see here, it's broken down into a very simple shape. So we take Ogren here, this character, and he's basically comprised of what we call the head morph shader and the universal head mesh. So I'm going to go through and break this down a little bit more. Basically, what all the meshes in the game are based off of this one uniform geometry. We don't make 200 or 1,400 characters. We make one, and then we morph that to make all the different characters that we need. So what we need to pay attention to is how these characters emulate, how they talk, how they move, how they animate. And through that, we have these different regions in the face that we want to block off. We want to make sure that everything's working correctly. It's going to flow correctly when the character animates. From there, we take this universal base mesh, and we have different bases based on the different needs for Dragon Age. For the shader.
So all the data for the character head is stored, and it's done real time, or is that pre-baked?
No, it's all real time. All this stuff is real time. So and what happens then is all the heads in the game are just mathematical data based on all the stuff. So we have all our different textures, we have all our different morphs and stuff loaded into the system. It's all skinned, it's ready to go. And then through the morph tool, they would make all the different shapes and select all the different mesh, different parts like the hair and the beards. And that's it. It's just numerical data. So that's how we had so many characters in the game. We didn't have to make, 1,500 characters. If we had to do that, we'd be still up there. As a lead artist, I don't want to make 1,500. I want to make like cool things, dragons and stuff like that. Yep.
What are your map sizes?
The map size, the texture sizes. So the end game sizes for the faces were all 512. We kept them kind of low, but there's quite a bit of UV space. It ends up being a little bit higher definition than what Mass Effect was doing. But we even got more texture space out of DA2, and we're continuing to expand this technology.
XGen.
Sky, XGen Studios. So this is the sequel to Motherload. It is under current development for WiiWare, Windows, and Mac OS, and potentially other platforms. Those are our primary platforms of target right now. It's sort of got a significant code rewrite. Quite a few changes to the existing mechanics. Players of the original will appreciate the fact that we have completely gotten rid of gas pockets. Yeah.
No more.
And there's quite a few new gameplay elements as well. So I'll go ahead and fire up the game.
Welcome to the new frontier. My name is.
So we made it sort of Russian themed, and when we initially sketched things, when I initially sketched things out, it just kind of took on this constructivist look, and everything kind of formed from there. The story hadn't even been made yet, and we weren't even sure what the game was going to be about yet, other than that it had been made before. But we knew we wanted to give it sort of a story and have characters and make it, I don't know, give it a little bit more depth than the original. So yeah, it was important to us to have this universal, like, nicely designed environment for you to run around. And yeah, so we have a dirigible, which is, and I didn't even know what a dirigible was before I drew it. I was like, yeah, like the Hindenburg, but someone was like, oh, you drew a dirigible, that's awesome. It's like Googling, that's cool, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so, yeah, so I went to ACAD Alberta College of Art and Design, and I was in their illustration stream, and so I didn't even originally know what I wanted to do yet, but I knew a guy who worked with XGen, and somehow they created a job for me they charitied a job for me to work as an intern there. And so, yeah, when I was at ACAD, it was important for us to really know what the game or what we were working on was going to look like before we started the final product. So
we are here with Sky and Scott to talk about Super Motherload.
That's right.
Which is a sequel, apparently.
It is a sequel.
To I don't know how many people have played the original Motherload. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it? 50
million people have played the original.
Then I am totally ignorant. But continue.
So the original game is an intergalactic mining game, set in the near future, in a steampunk universe. So, essentially, your goal is to mine Martian minerals and use the proceeds of those minerals to upgrade your pod and buy better drills, engines, and other neat things for your pod to help you progress through the game.
Cool. So basically Dig Dug, kind of.
Sort of like Dig Dug, but sans monsters, and it doesn't really have one of those guns you can shoot monsters with. And
okay.
A couple of years ago, the only studios that I could really see anyways were ourselves and Bioware. So now it really looks like there's quite a few pockets, and the game's been in development for just over a year now, I would say, and it's one of the it's one project team in XGen Studios, so we have a number of projects going simultaneously. Scott and I, of course, are the core team for it. We have a great sound guy on it as well, doing the voiceover work for the game. It's the first time we've done voiceovers in any of our games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's on track for release soonish. I hate to announce release dates because whatever we do, we miss them.
Well, I'd say in-game art is like 80% finished, and that's just in-game, but it's close.
And lots of polish left to do the title, of course.
Yeah. We want to make sure it's good. Like we worked on it long enough that we want it to succeed. So we don't want to release something that's subpar. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the formation of XGen, how you guys kind of got together.
So XGen Studios started out as a one-man team. Myself making Flash games for my friends. In 2003, we released our first game, which was a stick figure role-playing game.
Nice.
Stick RPG. Followed by Defend Your Castle, which is probably the most well-known today. As the popularity of the games grew, I was unable to handle the response myself, so I needed someone to run the servers. I needed someone to answer emails, and of course I wanted to go on to build bigger and better games. So we started to expand the team.